when we are fresh in that space and navigating that pain point of just gotten a divorce, or I just lost my job, or I'm at a weight that I don't like. I'm realizing that I'm hiding in my body behind weight, right? That conversation of, ooh, thrive and create your perfectly designed, most aligned life is like, what does that even mean?
Mhm.
What does that even mean when I feel trapped in my body? What does that even mean when I feel stuck and alone? What does that mean when I don't have a source of income?
Welcome to Healing Conversations podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to Healing Conversations
Yes.
podcast, our safe space that we come together and we talk all things healing, all things expansion, all things growth. And we really bring where we are to the space, and we invite you all to come as you are into the space with being open to allow just whatever we speak about to activate whatever you may have as far as a block, a hindrance, or just any resistance. Allow yourself to be open to what we share and be open to share with us things that come up for you because we learn, we grow, we expand from you. We are no experts. We are on this journey. I like to say we are your sister, we are your brother, we are your friends on this journey of expansion and growth. And welcome to the space, Sister Angelique.
Yes. Welcome in, y'all. Angelique here. I'm so grateful that we have put this space together for you all. However, I know it's going to be transformational for me as we continue on through the episodes. And just be aware this is like a teaching podcast. Get your notebook, get your pen, get your laptop ready. Get ready to take some notes because we will be dropping some nuggets and some gems specifically towards the end, but throughout the podcast as well. So make sure you definitely tune in, tap in that way, and wherever you are listening, give us your feedback. Let us know in the comments how this is impacting you, what you're picking up, and any suggestions that you may have for future episodes. Yes.
Yes, yes. So let's get into this conversation. So just quick little behind the scenes, little insight. Sister Angelique and I, we always just kind of catch up, see where we are, and we just allow what we share to be the inspiration of what we talk about in this space, whether it's in our live on Instagram and now in the podcast form. And I love that approach because it's so organic and it's not something we have to think about. And it's just really where our hearts and our minds and our body resides in that moment. And I feel like Sister Angelique says, it's the space that we bring in of support and service to you all, but it truly is of support and service to me. And I'm sure Sister Angelique too.
Me
Like
too.
it
Yes.
really just helps that release for me. There's tears, there's laughter, there's clarity, there's so much that I gain. So that's just a little insight of what inspires our conversations that we bring to the space. So today we're gonna go into I was sharing with Sister Angelique that there is just a lot of things that I am now receiving that are in alignment with what I have been asking for. And before let's rewind, there's been just the last couple of months, there's been this fogginess I felt when it has come to me feeling inspired to create something, to do something, to just like bring something to this my community and just to the world. And I've been in this place of like I have all these gifts. I have all this wisdom. I have all these things and ways that I could be of support in service to others, but I don't know what it is that I feel called to do to create for others.
Mm,
But if I'm being truthful, and this is our space of open vulnerability so we can gain clarity, there's also been this feeling of me feeling doubtful
mm,
and fearful in regards to like not believing in my gifts at times. So it makes me like, I want to do all these things, but can I do these things? Am I able to do these things? Do I have the capacity to hold these things? And those thoughts have been coming up, those feelings have been coming up, which has caused the movement to slow up. So it's made me be in the space of like, well, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know how I want to serve. And I would invest into all of these programs and these mentors and all these things. But I felt like I was stuck in having all this wisdom, having all this knowledge, but still not knowing how to package it and bring it to people to
Mhm.
support them. And I think for me, when you're on this journey of like healing, expansion, growth, and you start to awaken to new things and have new insights and perspectives, I feel like you learn a certain language that you once didn't know, and you get caught up in knowing that language and thinking
Mm.
everyone speaks it.
Yeah. Like
And
you go
then
to
when
Mexico thinking everybody speaks English.
like I'm like Espanol, like no, I'm speaking English, but I felt like that's where I felt stuck because I was speaking a new language, wanting to be of service to people who didn't quite understand it just yet.
Mm,
So there was this kind of like gap that was happening in regards to what I wanted to create, like wanted to create things of like live a life you desire, live a life of your dreams, intentionally create like people who are still in that process of their awakening, of their expansion. They may not know that. They may know, I want to pay my bills and have money to just not be in survival. I want to not feel
mhm,
like I am always people pleasing and overgiving and doing things for others before myself. But
mhm,
I didn't know how to speak that because I was so in the clouds of this is just what I know, so this is how I speak. So I'm just assuming you all do too. And what's been coming to me is for Mel, like, where were you before you started this journey? How did you speak? What
mm,
were you experiencing? What were you going through? What did you need support and help with? And now that's helping me kind of know, okay, when I'm in my everyday life doing my everyday thing and what just brings me everyday joy, it allowed me to see how I do help people in that way, but I could bring it back to the ground and take it out the clouds of like expansion, elevation, awakening, and like break through the walls of doubt. Allow the fear to fuel you versus stop you. Like starting to speak in that to where it's more in the heart and not in the mind. And it's something I resonate with because it's something I've had to grow through and work on in my within myself. So now since I've been allowing myself to kind of let those pieces come together for me, it's created this desire of like I want to now like be of service in a way that I know I can, but I still know that I need support with gaining that clarity. And I had to do that work of not feeling ashamed to say like, okay, y'all, this is where I'm at and this is where I like need that support to help get to the next place. Me working through the shame, the judgment, the guilt allowed me to ask for like just people who I know because a lot of times, y'all, we think we need to go into another community, another space, another building, but what we truly desire is always right there. But a lot of times we don't utilize the things that are right in front of us because we think we have to go and chase and search for that thing outside of us. But me being
mm.
able to just be like, what do I have, asking the question, what do I have access to that's right
Right.
in front of me that I can put to use? Ding, ding, ding. Things started to align. Things started to come together. Meetings are set up. I'm in spaces now that are holding me accountable. So just things started to align and come together for me, but I had to know what I wanted. But before that knowing of what I wanted, I had to go into like what is keeping me from not even wanting to do anything outside of what I'm doing. Because that's where we get stuck in the comfort of this is just what I do. So this is all there is. And I landed there.
Yes. And what I'm hearing is you're recognizing how in the beginning of, awareness and awakening, what often leads us to that is a pain point. And when we are fresh in that space and navigating that pain point of just gotten a divorce, or I just lost my job, or I'm at a weight that I don't like, I'm realizing that I'm hiding in my body behind weight, right? That conversation of, ooh, thrive and create your perfectly designed, most aligned life is like, what does that even mean? What
Mm-hmm.
literally, what does that even mean when I feel trapped in my body? What does that even mean when I feel stuck and alone? What does that mean when I don't have a source of income right now and I don't know what my next steps are, how I'm going to provide for myself or my family? What is designing the life of my aligned desires? Like, these are just words. And what's so beautiful is that I noticed you are kind of finding yourself not specifically in that space, but recognizing, oh, there's a certain pain point that I'm going through where I was feeling stuck and foggy and I didn't know what to do. So I reached out for help where somebody could, support me with taking that next step. And so in you doing that, you are showing people that, hey, you might have just lost your job, got a divorce, or feeling trapped in your body. But if you ask for help, you can find a way to step out of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just saying that, I'm doing it, even at the level that Ray Mill, is at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even where I am, I know the importance of getting clarity from a community and not just spiraling in my own thoughts and my own ideas. Something that I heard recently um, is an Abraham Hicks uh, message, lecture, whatever. Um, and they were telling this person that stuckness is wanting something, but feeling like you can't have it or you don't deserve it. So you're like, oh, I want to go forward, but then you're pulling yourself back with the belief of, oh, I can't have that, or oh, this isn't the right time, or oh, I feel guilty about wanting more or wanting to change. And then we get into this like back and forth, like, instead of just allowing ourselves to say, I want this, and continue to step forward. I want this. I'm going to ask for help. I want this. I'm going to make a list of the action steps, like being stuck is a self-inflicted state of being. Ooh, I know that
Mm.
hurt somebody. Let us
Say that
know.
again because I feel like it went over someone's head and they need to let that marinate.
Ooh, being stuck is a self-inflicted experience. I'll put it
Mm.
that way. Being stuck is a self-inflicted experience. We put ourselves, because we know we have a desire, we know we want to do something more. We know we see ourselves in love, in a great livelihood, in a beautiful, strong body, but we have these stagnant beliefs that are like, that's not necessary. You've always been this way, or all of your relationships have been trash, or every job is a terrible place to be. Listen, that was me.
Mm.
That was me. Even though we have evidence through people like Ray Mel, through people like me, people like Lisa Nichols, people like Steve Harvey, like people like anyone you admire has gone through a period of stagnation and having to overcome those beliefs that were keeping them stuck. And as Ray Mel has beautifully shared in this space, every stage that we are wanting to advance to, we have to release that stuckness. We have to address limiting beliefs. We have to address the fact that maybe I'm not clear on what I want, and that's why I feel foggy and not creative. Maybe I haven't been reaching out to community and I need support, I need accountability. that awareness and that self-assessment is so important. And it's tough. It's tough because we've been conditioned often. We've been conditioned into a victim mentality that says, if I remain a victim, that's how I get help.
Mm,
However, throughout all of history, any culture of people, any individual that has remained in a victim consciousness continues to live in a space where they don't want to be. They continue to live a life that is unfulfilling for them. And again, tough stuff to chew on. So definitely make sure you take some time with this and you
hmm
listen to it multiple times if need to. Reach out and you're like, I don't get it. I feel like you're coming from my life. Email or DM us. You feel me? Like, let us know how this conversation is resonating with you. Um, but yeah, I'll end that there.
You gave a lot. There was a lot on that plane. There was so much like just truth in that. And I want to, I always like to kind of break things down because our minds, when we hear certain things, it sounds so simplistic. It sounds so like, oh, well, just do this or do that. And a lot of times we're unaware why there is this resistance of doing these things or really committing to these practices or seeing ourselves in a certain way or even how that victim character came about. So I always like to just break it down just so there's this awareness you can have. And through that, it creates curiosity for you to explore and take action to now do the work to shift, change, and get into that rhythm of practice to now
Mhm.
get into that form of release. But speaking into why even myself, I like to use me as an example. Why this is such a big win for me to ask for support and help. Why do I celebrate me for now taking action to say, like, hey, this is where I'm at. Can you help me get to where I need to go? It's because there was this time where I was told as a child, like, just to shut up when I would ask or express that I needed or wanted something, that I was made to feel as though I didn't matter. It didn't matter. So it made me create this story that I didn't matter.
Mm.
My needs didn't matter. What I desired wasn't even a factor. So it was no point of even having desires or wants.
Mm.
I just knew how to do what other people want or be who others wanted me to be. So there was this belief that being myself wasn't safe, that it wasn't accepted, that it wasn't embraced. Speaking up wasn't safe, it wasn't accepted, it wasn't embraced. So there was this identity that I started to create that I just have to shrink, play small, be soft spoken. It's so crazy how I get so many compliments on my voice now because growing up and even just throughout my adult life, early adult life, I whispered when I talked. People
Mm.
used to say, "Can you speak up? I can't hear you," because I was afraid to project. I was
Mhm.
afraid to really speak loud because it was always misconstrued as though I had a problem. There was an attitude. I was trying to like be smart and talk back, and it
Mm.
was just me
Just
expressing.
just
So it
talking.
started
Mm.
to lower the volume on my voice, and that's how I navigated through life. So a lot of times in life, we have these patterns, we have these limitations, but they all come from our childhood, and it's not about blaming or shaming, judging or guilting. It's just about having the awareness that what you experienced and went through in your childhood, it truly affects your adult life. Everything that you do, every action you take, every pattern, habit, routine that you have, it stems from younger versions of yourself. And
Mm.
depending on the childhood or upbringing you had, it may have experienced or it may have affected you in a super traumatic way. So a lot of your life you live it in fight, flight, or freeze in a dysregulated state. So you're always on the guard, you're always on the run, you're always in the hiding, avoidance, or you may be living in a state of just always wanting to fight. Everyone's the
Mm.
problem. Everyone's the enemy. You got to protect yourself. You got to be cautious. So
I mean, I apologize. I don't mean to laugh. I just had this experience recently. Please hold your thought.
No.
I was navigating some things at my job, and I had to talk to a maintenance person, and they explained to me like, hey, it's not on our side of things. You have to call like a plumber or electrician or something. And I was like, okay, thank you. And then as I'm leaving, I guess they got on the phone with their manager to update them on the situation. And they're like, oh, hey, could you stop and talk to my manager real fast? I was like, cool, okay. Me, I'm just like, okay, the situation has been resolved and I know what my next step is. I get on the phone with this person and they're like, yeah, just so you know, this isn't on our side and we did what you needed to do and you're going to need to da da da. I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm like, why are you so angry? But anyway, continue. Yeah, being
No,
different.
that's a perfect
Yeah.
example though of when you're in that energy of just victimhood or in fight mode, everything you have to prove yourself. You have to have a point that's made for you to
Mm-hmm.
feel safe,
Yeah.
for you to feel secure. So that's how a lot of people are navigating and operating in life. And I just wanted to bring that awareness that that is why a lot of times it may be hard for you to ask for help
Mm-hmm.
because there may be this sense of shame, guilt, or judgment that you were given from parents, caretakers, or people in your household that made you feel that way as a child, or you're afraid to express yourself for anything in any way. That is because that there was a part of you muted as a child. And I wanted to bring this awareness because now when you find yourself having certain reactions or showing up in certain ways, that judgment that you may give to yourself or the way that you may talk to yourself, it's just a repeat of what everyone else did to you. And that's where now you have that ability to start to shift and change and do the work on yourself. So that's where you're able to hold that space for love, hold that space for compassion, and really be embracing yourself. So when you find that you are maybe feeling stuck in life, or maybe it doesn't have to be in regards to like a business, and you may be stuck in a relationship, stuck at a job, stuck in a space that you just don't feel safe. And there may be this part of you that's like, I want to ask for help, but I don't really know if they'll. And that keeps a lot of people just in that space of feeling like they're cemented there, but
Mm-hmm.
there is no cement. So it's like you have the ability to ask. And if you find that it's hard to, just bringing that awareness, like there's some things that you need to work on from your childhood, and it frees you. It starts to allow you to express, and you get into the practice. So what I shared, it may sound so small, like I said, but it's so big because I had to go and do that work to even be in the space to say, hey, I need help.
Mm. Yes, yes, a very yes. And I know we are coming to the tail end of this podcast. Listen, you guys got to join us live on
Hmm.
Instagram. We do at least a solid hour on Saturdays, so make sure you check us out on Instagram at Raynell Bentley and at VZ Spaces. Um, so that you can get into it because I know these podcasts are quick and they're juicy.
A lot of
And
nuggets.
a lot of nuggets. So this is the part where you definitely should take some notes because we're going to give you three action steps to take with you that are based on what we've been talking about today. And I know Raymond did it last time. I don't know if
I
you want
would
to do
say
it
you
this
do it.
time.
You do it. Let's pass your it. Since I didn't know, so I'm like, okay, let me give you three to know. Y'all, we're still, and the beauty is we're in the beginning phase. So you guys are like on this journey as we evolve and a starting point. So
Yeah.
yes, Sis Angelique, what are the three action step tips that you want to leave with the people?
Okay, yes. So the one thing that came up for me as you were sharing this last little bit was take some time for your inner child.
Mm,
Like, take a moment to, here, I'll put it this way. If something throughout your day frustrated you, irritated you, disrupted your peace, got you into a depressive state, take 5 to 10 minutes to sit silently and see if there's a memory that comes up from your childhood. and just write it down. Just write it down. And if you don't feel like you have the capacity to navigate it in that moment, then just know that you wrote it down. It's there, and you can come back to it to process and unpack. The second thing that really came up for me is reach out to somebody,
Mm,
whatever it is. If you need a um, like a meal prep buddy, you need a workout buddy, you need a job search friend, you need someone to just hold you accountable with your morning routine, or someone to hold you accountable with growing your business. Reach out for support, y'all. Like literally anyone that you can think of. If you can't think of anybody in your personal circles, reach out to one of us. And
mhm,
if we are not in a specific niche that you are needing support with, we have a wide network. You feel me? So definitely reach out. You are not alone. And the third thing that I would like you all, well, I would invite you all. Listen, you ain't got to listen to me. It's an invitation.
mhm.
I invite you to celebrate yourself for
Mm,
whatever accomplishment you have had in the past 7 days. Whatever it is, even if it's just this morning, you're like, okay, I woke up and I brushed my teeth.
mhm,
Round of applause. Celebrate yourself. We often underestimate how much we crave that as human beings. Just we crave someone noticing us in a positive light, in a celebratory manner. So do that for yourself. Do
mhm.
that for yourself. So, again, the three actions that I invite you to take: tap into your inner child and write down any memories that come up from a triggering moment that you've had. The second thing is reach out for community support because you are not alone. Again,
Mhm.
Raymel and I have a wonderful network of human beings, and
Yes.
it's always growing. And then the third one, uh, my brain was like, oh, Raymel, what was it? Remind me.
What the third one was,
Yes.
um,
Oh, celebrate yourself. I'm
celebrate
like,
yourself.
yes. Because I was like, it's something very simple. It's very something very simple. Celebrate yourself. Listen, I'm gonna celebrate myself for remembering. Amen. So yes, just to be brief with this, check in with your inner child, get community support, and celebrate yourself. Those are the actions I invite you
Yes.
to take this week.
And what beautiful. And the thing is, and I would just want to just bring to the awareness that a lot of times, y'all, we think things have to be so simple. We think we have to have these long list of things and
Mm.
complicated ways to do them, but the simple practices make the biggest differences in our lives and within ourselves. So, thank you, Sister Angelique, for those beautiful
Mhm.
tips. I invite you all to put them to use. Through practice, you start to see repetition. Through repetition, you start to see transformation. Through transformation, you start to see your life change, and you have the ability to change anything that you are not in love with in your life because it all starts from within you, created by you, and it can be changed only from you.
Yes.
What a beautiful just episode we had today, y'all. Make sure
Yes.
to like, make sure to follow, make sure to share if you find that you are receiving value, if there's some form of connection and you feel like I need to let someone hear this because it woke
Mhm.
something up within me and I hope that it will do the same for you. Be sure to share it. Our intention is just to bring awareness, heal, transform, and be in the space of love and expansion and growth with you.
Yes, yes. And comment on all the things, engage, let us know, reach out. We love being here for you all, and we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.